and welcome to another podcast with Elita and Absolutely and Bill Lavender. No Sober here. Hey! Am I broadcasting? Yeah, I'm broadcasting. There we go. Sorry if I seem a little bit down, I've just not been feeling myself today, I think. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. Let's just continue with the story. Hands for hire. The Grey Gatherer is eyeing you with an impressed look.
You're a woman who plucks the finest of the land's offerings with their own hands. Am I right? Aha! I knew it! The moment I set eyes upon you, I share the same passion, in fact, or at least I used to. For many happy years did I work in the employ of the Shunai's apothecary, gathering only specimens of the utmost quality. Alas, such work wears on the body, and mine has about had its fill. Every day my knees and back made new cries of protest, so I have finally decided to leave this business to younger hands. And yours look fit to succeed me, maybe even surpass me. I reckon you'd fill my old position at Shunya's apothecary in no time nicely. You will fit it, won't you? I'd hate for Shunya to be left alone to prop up such a bustling business. Consider the opportunity. I promise you'd be hard-pressed to find a better man to work for. You can find him at the far end of the marketplace. At least go and see what he's about, will you? Do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah.
Oh, hello there. Apologies for not noticing you. A merchant's work is endless, you see, and I find myself at short hands these days. Welcome to Shunya's apothecary, friend. Are you searching for something specific? Perhaps one of my displays caught your eye.
What sort of shop this is?
To put it simply, I purvey goods which promote a healthy body and mind. Herbs to cleanse the mind, ailments. Incense to calm the senses, salts to massage aching shoulders, and much more, as you can see. Naturally, this requires use of various plants and minerals, which possess uncommon, and some would even say mystical, properties, which I acquire from discerning and trusted gatherers. However, the flow of goods recently slowed to a trickle, and I found it difficult to keep my shelves stocked. You may find my selection somewhat wanting, if I'm to be honest. So you must be the gatherer Robley spoke of. Are you here to offer your services? Of course, I'm more than grateful for the help. I hope this is the start of a mutually pleasant relationship, Elita. Excuse me, but are you the proprietor of the shop? Is it true you're of the Shetoda tribe? Oh, yes, on both accounts. What brings you to Shunya's apothecary, friend? I am Uvlu Gaswathir. I hail from the village of Kugama, located in the eastern continent of Orthard. I was travelling the 3 great continents in an effort to expand my horizons, when I learned of a people similar to the Viera who live in Tural. He's pretty. I wished I could learn all I could of them, so I boarded the first ship across the sea I could find. Once at port, I asked where I might find any Shedota, and was pointed here. Please, allow me to serve you. I can hunt, I can fight, and I can gather. Surely one of my skills can be of use. All I ask in return is that you teach me of your people. What a day this has turned out to be. One moment desperate for help, the next day spoiled for choice. Uvio, was it? I know you've come far, and I can sense your sincerity, but my conversation doesn't fetch so high a price. Simply purchase one of my wares, and we can chat for as long as you like. I have no money. Not even a single coin. I spent my very last one hiring a ship to bring me here. Then I can't very well expect your custom, can I? Apologies for the interruption, Elita. Where were we? Ah, yes. Would you agree to a small test of your talents before we begin our work in earnest? I suppose I'll be testing you too. That is, of course, assuming you wish to work with me. Of course, I am at your disposal. You only need to tell me what I need to do. Then your task is simple. Bring me the goods that I can sell to eager customers. There's no better way to take stock of your talents. You seek work too? Well, I hope we can call each other's partner in due time. Test of talents. Shunya is eager to put your skills to the test. Now, shall we get started? I want both of you to head to Urapuka and bring me back an assortment of my most popular staples. Namely, I'm looking for maca, a plant which imparts unflagging vigour in springstone, which is used to warm the body and soothe aches in the muscles. You can bring me whichever is easier for you to gather. Either will sell just as quickly. Since this is only a trial, let's start with say 6 or so. 6 spring stones from Urapuka. Understood. I shall return with. You can find the staples I require in Urapuka. Either the maca or the springstone will suffice. Bring me whichever one is easier for you to acquire. A naturally sourced material that promotes a healthy body. Sold for a reasonable price at Shuni's Apothecary. Oh wow, it shows you so much on the map nowadays. you can find staples requiring Ukabuka. Either Naka or the Springstone will suffice, spin whichever is easier for you to acquire. That was quicker than I expected. Let's see. Oh my, this delivery is better than I could have imagined. Almost too good. In fact, my customers might come to take such quality for granted. Thank you for your hard work. It's always comforting to see my shelves stocked. I must say there's no greater reassurance than knowing I have wares to sell. Even though this was a trial run, you conducted yourself flawlessly. Truth be told, when I first began this endeavour, I didn't imagine I would sell such a wide array of goods. But the health is a goal we all share, and there are any number of ways to pursue it. Take maca for instance. It thrived in the harsh climes of Urupaka, accumulating nutrients from its unique environment. It has been a favourite since time immemorial for its nutritional value and invigorating properties. Springstone, on the other hand, is a type of volcanic rock. It retains heat rather well, so after a bit of polishing and warming, you can place it in your pocket or directly on the skin. Even in hotter regions, it's used to relieve stiff muscles and troublesome aches. I know you came to me seeking gainful employment, but you must place your own health first and foremost. If anything ever ails you, I would welcome your custom with open arms. Speaking of which, you haven't seen Uvio, have you? I hope he hasn't gotten lost. Judging by his story, he arrived in Tyrrell only shortly before visiting my shop. His confident stride suggested he knew where he was going, but how could he? I am returned, Master Shunye. I hope my deliveries meet with your satisfaction. Well, I suppose there was no need to worry. Yes, these are good. They'll certainly sell. Forgive my imposition, but have you been to Tyrrell before, or did you hire someone to guide you? Neither. This is my first time in Tyrrell, and I have no money for a guide. Yet this city is home to a great many people. You ask around for information, you can piece together any puzzle in time. That is, of course, if you have the patience to do so. Does this mean you've reached a decision regarding my employment? Indeed, you did very well today. So, for the time being, I have no objection to continuing our business relationship. Yes! And of course, I'd like to continue working with you as well, Elita. However, I understand you aren't the type to stay in one place over long. Let's keep it simple, shall we? Stop by whenever you have time for a few tasks, and I shall recompense you accordingly. Then it's settled. Don't be a stranger, Elita. Elita, forgive my rudeness for not introducing myself sooner. I am Uvlo, of Kugami Village. I hope to learn much about someone from your experience. Just as I hope to learn about the Shadota from you, Master Shunye. May we all prosper under your tutelage. Well, I may prove to be a worthless teacher in that regard, but I suppose I can try. As for our mutual prosperity, that depends on us. That is to say, We need to get selling. My customers will be pleased to see my stocks replenished at last. Shuni is pleased with your efforts. He now considers you a greenhorn gatherer. Master Shunyu has been more than accommodating, and I will repay his kindness with honest labour. I have worked almost every job under the sun during my travels, so I shall be here for whatever he needs. A discerning eye. Shunyu is ready to begin a new day of peddling wellness. Good day, Elita. Are you here for more work? I certainly could use the help. Thank you. Having another deft hand at my disposal will speed things along. How is Ufo getting on? He's doing quite well, all things considered. The only hurdle to speak of has been his complete lack of funds. He couldn't even afford to lodge himself. He assured me that he has no qualms sleeping under the stars, but I can't very well have my employees camping in the wilds like common vagabonds. In the end, I invited him to live with me. You may not always think ahead, but it's plain that in all other respects he's quite thorough. He's neat and organised, has never once been late, and is ever quick to ask questions whenever something confounds him. I suppose this is a natural consequence of his upbringing. He said he never lacked for mentors growing up. As much different life than the one I led, the men of my people spend much of their time alone, and as a result, many of us develop habits more lax than not, myself included. Even so, I find his scrupulous attitude refreshing. Is there work to be done? Just so, Uvio. If you're finished taking stock, I would ask that you accompany. Of course. Working with someone more experienced than myself is always a pleasure. Good, good. Today will be very similar to the last time. I want you to bring me more of my popular products, namely those that will benefit the soul. Firstly, cuttings from a fragrant tree that's said to purify the body of toxins. Secondly, a type of amethyst that's treasured in Yogg-Toral for its purported ability to calm troubled spirits. While usage of these items differs slightly depending on the customer's cultural practices, they are generally thought to ward off evil humours accumulated in the mind, body and soul. Fascinating. Wood and stones. I thought health to be in the realm of medicine and alchemy. It makes me wonder what hidden powers the objects surveyed here might possess. Of course, I only sell products of proven repute, but even that is no guarantee that an item which positively affects one person will do the same for another. Some even purchase goods based solely on the fact that they are pleasing to the eye. Salves take many forms, as I've learned. That explains the sheer variety. Do you travel the continent in search of new goods? Not quite. I depend on gatherers such as yourselves mostly. That and a handful of trusted merchants. I dare not leave the shop unattended for long, you see, and, well, I have my reasons for not venturing beyond its gates. But enough of that, yes? There's work to be done. You can find what I need in the northern region of Kozumauka. As always, the higher quality of your delivery, the better your reward shall be. I would like to test my hand at collecting both. Elita, I hardly suspect you require any practice, so I trust you will decide which task better suits your skills. wares which cater to our spiritual needs, are more popular amongst customers old and new. I would have you gather the finest of them from Kozmauka. Guaranteed to lift spirits and ward off malevolent humours, these are one of the most popular wares sold at Shuni's Apothecary. You've left me speechless once again. I'm almost afraid to examine your delivery for fear of tarnishing its beauty. I shall have to maintain a delicate touch. This is more than suitable. Good work, Elita. You're quite good at this, I must admit. How many hours do you reckon you've spent searching for the Earth's finest bounties? I am returned. Woodcuttings and amethysts, I hope they are up to your discerning standards. Welcome back, Uvio. Let's have a look. Oh my. Well, I can certainly sell the woodcuttings as they are, but these amethysts, they're almost flawless. Where did you find such a rich vein? I am something of an expert in the subject of minerals, you see. I hail from the snow-capped mountains of the Scathy Range, where we have naught but rock and snow to gaze upon. To the untrained eye, one stone is much the same as another, but somehow singular essences which we have learned to identify. My people believe that these to be the souls of our forebears, returned to their ancestral home, and we carry them on our person as a form of protection. The Scathay Range. I've never been, but your words paint the picture well enough. Few in my own continent have travelled so far, to say nothing of travellers from Tyrrell. Do you have a map, Elita? I believe it would do Master Shunyi well if we could consult it. Here, the Scathay Range. Dominating central Orthard, the mountains mark the border between the Burn and the former kingdom of Dalmasca. My clan is known as the Vina Viera, and their settlements can be found in and around the Scathay Range. Kugama, my village, is among them. As is common with other Viera clans, the women oversee day-to-day life in Kuguma, while the men dwell outside its gates as protectors. The land is harsh and unforgiving, but the knowledge of our ancestors teaches us how to hunt when prey is scarce, and forage when frost kills all but the hardiest plants. In this way we lived until the Guardian Emperor rose like a blight upon the earth. Although we were never threatened by them directly, the nations we called neighbours fell one by one to their ambition. Our elders decided to cut off all contact with the outside world, but as time went on, more and more came to realise that such extreme measures were untenable. And so, some years back, it was decided that one among us would journey into the outside world to gather the most precious resource of all, knowledge. They must grasp the complex workings of the larger world, attuning themselves to the pulse of modern life until it beats within their own. Then they must return to the village and teach all they have learned. And you are this person, I take it. My family name, Gwelvlastilf, means cloud, and like a cloud I drift from land to land, eventually returning to my home to provide nourishing rain and of knowledge of my people. I see. That's why I was too eager to learn of the Shintota. From their way of life, I hope to extract valuable nuggets of wisdom that will help my own people. When I heard of Shintota, I imagined how we Viera live across the sea. How would our long lives play out in different environments? What sort of society would we build? People so far apart, but so similar. I had to see for myself how you fared. I apologize for speaking so long. Thank you for lending us your map, Elita. I can tell you care deeply for your people. They are my family. Although my path is not an easy one, I would climb even the sheerest cliff for their sake. You really would, wouldn't you? Never mind that. Thank you for sharing your story with us, Uvlio. And thank you both for a good job well done. I look forward to hiring your services again, Elita. Shinrei is delighted with your efforts. He now considers you a great gatherer. I return home immediately if I learn aught that may pose danger to my people. Otherwise, I return once every other winter to share the knowledge I have acquired during my travels. My village cannot be reached via established land or air routes, nor can we rely on the Ethernet. Returning there is a trying and expensive journey in and of itself, during which I cannot fulfill my duty. As nature intends, Shinrei seems pleased with the brisk business of his apothecary. It's good to see you, Elita. Come to see how business is doing? I have finished my work. If you require Elita's aid, then allow me to help. Of course, I'm grateful to have such an eager worker in my employ, but I must remind you to rest. Even you have a limit, surely. My master trained me well for any role. An endless journey requires endless vitality, and I was prepared to endure such a trial. Well, I've no reason to mistrust your judgment, but I know how your tiring a long journey can be, so don't hesitate to take a constitutional at your leisure. You do? I thought you rarely ventured past the city's gates. Oh, you seem busy. Should I return later? Toya. Welcome. Feel free to browse my wares. My employees here shall be glad to help with anything you might require. Employees? You hired more? 2 more? I hoped against hope that you'd quit this foolish distraction after that old codger retired. Just how many moons do you intend to stay cooped up in this city, playing shopkeep like a child? If there's anything you wish to order, simply say the word. That is why you're here, isn't it? You never did listen. Fine. If you insist on keeping this up, then I could use cleansing supplies for the household. You know where to make your delivery. That was my sister. Born of a different mother, but my sister all the same. Among the Shetona and the Viera where you hail from, I wager is not an uncommon circumstance. The gender of my people becomes apparent as we grow. The large majority are women, with men being somewhat of a rarity. Thus we generally do not marry a single partner, as is common with other peoples. Most of us have siblings from different fathers or mothers. But regardless of blood, a customer is a customer, and her order must be fulfilled. A delivery of supplies that our people use to cleanse their homes in the midst of bustling cities, sprigs of Saka sage, and purifying water from the River Pepi. I'm completely out of both, so I'm tasking you with journeying across Shaloni and gathering whichever best suits your skills. I shall go too, and bring back what Elita cannot. Apologies about my sister's less than friendly attitude. Nevertheless, she has made an order, and it's our duty to fulfill it. A set of supplies commonly used by the Shetona to maintain their home's connection to nature even in the midst of bustling cities. apologies about my sister's distant friendly attitude. Nevertheless, she has made no returns after duty to fill it. Excellent work, Elita. Although I shouldn't be surprised. I admit I'm half tempted to keep this delivered for myself, but alas, Uvlo should return soon, and then we can get everything together to send to my sister. Everything seems to be in order, and to my standards. Thank you both once again. You said to at least cleanse your home. How exactly do they keep insects away, or perhaps they keep the floors clean? Indeed, they do serve such purposes, but more importantly they're essential to upholding Draconia customs. Even among those of us living in cities, keeping in harmony with nature is of the utmost importance. All things breathe the energy of life. The earth and the sea, the rivers and the forest, the rain, the wind and the sun. Every animal that walks, swims or flies is beholden to this energy. By attuning yourself to its flow and availing yourselves of its blessing, we become a part of it, and thus a part of every living thing under the heavens. And so, when we choose a place to live, we do our best to keep things as they are. We fell trees only when absolutely necessary, or else live in the natural shelter of caves. Some of our small settlements even make for use of buildings abandoned by other peoples. Of course, the Draconia are not a monolith, and since the dawn serpent unified Tuval, many have come to hold different values to their ancestors. Nowadays, Draconia are not in common sight even in a metropolis like Tuliolo. Some even consider embracing change to become a part of nature's flow. However, no small amount of city-dwelling Draconia feel an almost unbearable sense of suffocation when inside cramped buildings. I see. I suppose these supplies are a way of allowing nature's blessing into your homes and maintaining your connection to its cycle. Exactly. Saka sage is native to the wilderness of Shaloni, and is purported to be closely linked to a greater power flowing around us, which lends its potent cleansing properties. Nirkaperti feeds in several bodies of water, Lake Terai among them. Such water passes through the countless valleys and under vast reaches of sky and connects us to that unfathomable journey. Oyaputa lived near those waters for some time, in fact. After her children set off on their own journeys, she settled down in Tuliolo with a new family, but she still maintains a strong connection to the natural energies she was once surrounded by. So we'd best not keep her waiting, eh? I would go myself, but I've heard enough of her scoldings for one day. Could you go in my stead, Elita? You can expect a satisfactory reward for your troubles, I promise. Leave it to me. He is overjoyed with your efforts. He now considers you a gifted gatherer. Shunya's special delivery is ready for an adventurous pair of hands. I finished putting together Uyakoda's delivery. Please be careful with it. She lives in the splendid quarter. Here, I've marked it on your map. Master Shunya, I will go along with Elita with your permission. Consider it a diversion from my work. You have been urging me to take time to relax after all. You have a strange idea of relaxation, but I see no reason to object. Very well, you can both deliver this package to my sister. Apologies for the imposition, Elita. Let us depart at once. I realise my sister didn't make a very good first impression, but I assure you she's normally quite cheerful and compassionate. I'm sure she'll treat you with kindness. There she is. Let us complete our task. Oh, you too. I saw you at my brother's shop, yes? I take it he asked you to deliver my order? This package contains everything a Draconia needs to maintain their connection to nature, even in the middle of a bustling city. Yes, everything's here. I must say, these materials have higher quality than I've come to expect. My brother has had a good stroke of fortune with you two, it seems. I apologize for my conduct before. It was unbecoming of me, and I hope to make amends. But above all, please help my brother succeed in his endeavours. You appeared rather unsupportive earlier. I was under the impression you wished he would quit his shop and leave the city. Why, surely their life here is not so terrible a prospect. I thought there was something different about you. You don't hail from Tyrell, do you? My people value living in harmony with nature above all, and settle only where that harmony won't be disrupted, in small villages usually. They are built and maintained by our women. The men travel from village to village, fostering our bonds with one another. Our families are built upon the relationship between parent and child. When a child is born, the mother and father become inexplicably bound to each other as well. Mothers live with their children until they become independent, while fathers continue to travel. As the seasons turn, the men visit their families with each visit they pass through. Although their time together is fleeting, it's always precious. We talk until the small hours of the morning, sharing all that has happened since we last met. The fathers tell us much about how the other villages fare, and it makes our small settlements feel so much larger. Although there is no one place we can point to as the home of the Draconia, we are connected in this way like the roots of a great tree. Fascinating! We Vera lead such different lives, yet even so there are shades of similarity. I take it Shunyi didn't always live in Tuliolo then. He used to travel the land as well. The bond with his family first was formed in a small village to the north, among the tall mountains. Yet not long after his departure one season, the village was suddenly destroyed. None survived. No one knows exactly what happened, but those who saw the aftermath said that nothing but scarred and scorched earth remained, a terrible sight. Since that day, Shunyi ceased to travel. For 50 years he's lived in the city all alone. Years, that means... How many winters has Shunyi seen exactly? He was born shortly after the formation of Tuliolo, so that would make him about 80 or so, I suppose. 80? All this time, I have been a fool. His nature is so amiable, I thought him to be the same age as I. How could he forgive my utter rudeness, prying into his past without paying them the proper respects? I must apologize to save my honor and my life. How old are you, Uvlio? I have seen but 32 winters, a babe compared to Shunyi. Fair men must pay the utmost respect to their elders. Those who forget this do not live to become an elder themselves. I must make amends with Shunyi. You are his sister. Please, tell me what I can give him. I don't think Shunyi cares, but you seem quite insistent, so perhaps something he could sell in his apothecary. A fellow friend of mine told me that in the highlands of Urapuka one can find many rare plants and minerals, flowers that bloom but once in many moons, emeralds with enchanting patterns, and more besides. A brilliant idea! I shall depart to Urapuka at once and collect the finest items I can. Elita, I must request your aid. Although the burden of shame is solely mine to bear, I fear that I alone cannot gather enough items to make up for the magnitude of my disrespect. Will you agree? Please, you would be my savior. Thank you, Elita. I shall leave at once. Let us meet again at the apothecary to deliver my offering. Ah, the enthusiasm of youth. Luthor may be treating this more seriously than he needs to, but perhaps that energy may rub off with Shunyi. We're off to the Mystic Mountains. please deliver the rest of my offering to Master Shunye. I would do it myself, but I must stay in this position as a form of repentance. It is a custom I learned in the Far East, and I have yet to find a better way to express the shame in one's heart. Welcome back, Elita. Ublio told me about everything, most emphatically, I might add. There's much I would say on the matter, but as I'm taken to understand that you brought me a gift, I would happily receive it from you first. Primarily used for decorative purposes, this precious material was found in Urpaka. It can be purchased from Shunye's apothecary at a competitive price. My word, Ublio's gift alone left me speechless. This is surely more than I deserve. Materials of this quality can only be gathered by truly skilled hands. I'm grateful, you can be sure. All is forgiven, Ublio. In fact, there's nothing for me to forgive. As Oyapo told you, my people live with their mothers until they come of age. From her, they learn all the skills and knowledge they need to flourish without any strict hierarchy among the men. While I appreciate your gesture, I would be much obliged if we could continue on as we have been. Well... As you wish, Master Shunye. I'm glad we've reached an understanding. Now let's get back to work, shall we? Before that, regardless of whether or not I owe you respect, I still pried into your past only to sate my own curiosity. And for that I am deeply sorry. There is no need. It wasn't as if I meant to keep it a secret. So let me clear the air. What Uyapoda told you was true. My travels ended 50 years ago after I lost my family. To us, death isn't something to be mourned. It's merely another part of the cycle of life. I shouldn't have carried on and found a new family in a new village. But I couldn't. Not while the cause of my family's death remained a mystery. Do you truly know nothing? The complete destruction of a settlement, even a small one, surely would not have gone unnoticed. I think you underestimate how small. You could count the number of houses on one hand. To reach the nearest proper village, we had to traverse 2 towering mountains. Few could have witnessed the incident. The scale of destruction was too great for bandits. Many have suggested that Turel Vidal was to blame. I was lodging in the aforementioned village when the Titans reached me. A few days prior, a streak of light had scarred the skies, so bright that it was clearly visible even in the daytime. It disappeared behind the mountain peaks, and soon after the earth trembled. The trees and mountains shook, and the wind bore dust through the valleys. That sounds like a meteor. That was the conclusion I reached as well. A meteor from the heavens struck my family's home by pure chance. Anyway, it's only a theory. You would think the evidence of such tragedy would be more definitive, but it hasn't quite been that easy. Wait a moment, please. What is this? Stones like this were found scattered about the ruins, as if the heavens themselves wept to see the devastation. I've taken to calling them azure tears. Having been in this business for so long, I can hazard a guess as to their true nature. And I believe that proof of what befell my family must lie within these fragments. Even so, decisive evidence continues to elude me. Then again, perhaps my desire for answers causes me to see connections where there are none. But even if I wanted to, I can't let it go. I shall do my utmost under Master Shunyi's employ. For now, that is all I can do. Picking up the truth, Shunyi appears concerned for one of his most diligent employees. Welcome back to my apothecary, Elita. I always appreciate you stopping by. We're busy as ever, as you can see. Although since we last met, Uvlio has been acting strangely. He brushes off all my attempts to help and works with a singular focus. I think he still believes he crossed the line asking about my past, and is focusing his efforts more than usual to make up for his perceived affront. All of which is to say, I've no work for you today. Well, if our tasks for the day are done, then I think I should try and unravel the nature of these azure tears you found. Aha, I understand now. You squared away today's work so quickly because you had hoped to employ Elita's energies on the tears. Not exactly, yet I admit the thought did occur to me. I have found it difficult to think of aught else as of late. What could those stones possibly be? Truth be told, I can scarce imagine how we might prove they are connected to a meteor. As difficult as it is for me to admit, Master Shunyi, your theory remains just that. Yet if we were to find similar crystals at another location, where meteors had fallen, what then? Would that not provide sufficient evidence that the two phenomena are related? I don't think you'll find anything. I've asked all who listen if they'll see anything resembling the tears, but even the most worldly of connections say they are quite singular. Perhaps they are the only objects of their kind in this world. In that case, they would be rarer than any precious jewel. I believe your inability to find any information on them gives us all the more reason to look. Elita and I have yet to search for them, after all, and you know our skill at finding the rarest of specimens. We can't give up yet. You too. Very well, but I'll only make this imposition on you once. You've done enough for me already. Now, there are several locations in Tyrell where meteorites have fallen in the past. The Sexodros crater is purported to be the largest by scholars who study such phenomena. However, over the years, nature has healed the scar left behind. Soil has accumulated and trees have taken root. Now the area is known as Yaktel. But I doubt a little earth and wood can deter you. Somewhere under all that wildlife, you may find a material that has lain there since the meteor struck. If you find anything that resembles the tears, then we may be able to solidify a theory of what transpired 50 years ago. We'll know they came from a meteorite at least. Well then, let us waste no time. Off to Yaktal we go. I'm sorry that you got roped into this, but I'm looking forward to seeing what you can find all the same. What we seek is most likely in Yaktel, if you'll have to dig deep, but I know you're equal to the task. The ancient mud and sand found in the Sextus crater has been solidified into stone-like fragments that may contain traces of minerals left behind in meteoric impact. There we go. I'm sorry you got lost in Sist. I'm looking forward to seeing what you can find all the same. What we seek is most likely in Yaktel. You'll have to dig deep, but I know you're equal to the task. Amazing! This is plainly composed of materials entirely different to those found on the surface of Yaktel. Much more dense, much older, and shaped so beautifully besides. You've done well, Elita. With both your and new video samples, we may be able to reach a conclusion at last. Discover aught? Well, I was able to detect small fragments of a deep blue substance, and when I shined a light on it, its colour did indeed resemble the tears. But even so, there wasn't enough. As far as my abilities can discern, there's no way to say for certain that the two substances are one and the same. I see. Yet you did admit a possibility they might be related. These are good tidings. We simply need to keep digging, and eventually we will find a sample large enough to give us a definite conclusion. I did not expect this journey to be finished just after one outing. I shall return to Yaktel as many times as it takes. Why must you do this to yourself, Uvleo? You needn't feel obligated to help me resolve this personal matter. At the end of the day, it won't teach you any more about the chateau now. You are correct. I admit that digging deep into the soil is not a task that will help my people thrive. Yet hearing Uriapuyata speak with such affection about her family, and seeing you suffer so deeply from the loss of your own, I came to a realization. Though we may call ourselves by different names, both of our peoples cherish family above all. If my village suffered the same fate as yours, I would not rest until I found the cause. I could not suffer to live with myself otherwise. And I know you feel the same. That is why you still have the tears. Even though they have naught but painful memories, before you said that your long years running the shop allowed you to guess that the stones were related to your tragedy. But I know that deep down, you started this apothecary because you knew it would bring you closer to an answer. As your employee, it is only meet that I should help you achieve this goal. Allow me to help you, Master Shinyu. So reckless you are in your own journey, but so diligent in helping me along mine. I hope you have at least managed to save a handful of coins since coming here. If we're going forward with this, I must ask that you spare Yaktel's future digging. I wouldn't sacrifice the region's natural beauty in my quest, nor damage another's home. There has to be a different way, but I shall require time to find it. When I do, I ask only that you be able to help, Elita. Can I count on you? Thank you, truly. I'll have to sell a good portion of my stock to pay back the debt I owe you, after all's said and done. Shouldn't you have still your efforts? He now considers you a glorious gatherer. I'm not 100. Well, one quick way to fix that. So far, I'm on the right side. Here we go, that met. That's what I wanted before. wellspring of tears. Shouldn't bright things up more than usual at your arrival to his apothecary? You're here just in time, Elita. I will seek counsel from my best gatherers. Ovlo, a moment if you will. Before we begin, I would once again like to offer my thanks. What you brought back from Yaktel was more than I could have imagined. Even so, our efforts were lacking. We still have yet to identify the origins of the tears. Have you thought of where we might go to next? In a matter of speaking, I suppose, but I must warn you, I can't say for certain we'll find anything. Most of my knowledge of the tears comes from stories I've heard from fellow merchants. In fact, it was a merchant from Ixbrac who suggested Yaktel as a place of inquiry. Given its history with meteorites, we often exchanged information as well as goods. And although that led ultimately to Borner fruit, looking back, I believe my mistake was relying solely on the incomplete information. You need a perspective from Mamuk to complete the whole picture. I see we're on the same track, Elita. The merchant in question was of the Exbral, and as such may not have been privy to information from Mamuk. Although the two tribes are now at peace, their history is one of conflict. Even if the merchant had been one of their ancestral enemies, the Mamulja who populate Mamuk are known to be wary of outsiders. I understand times have changed in that respect, but I wonder how realistic it would be to try and seek information in Mamuk. You've been there before, of course. We've been working together for so long, I almost forgot about your storied history. Obviously the right of succession brought you to every corner of Tural. Then I would give you this task, Elita. Go to Mamuk and speak with the people there. Perhaps someone has seen something that resembles the tears. You should accompany her. I can manage the shop well enough in your absence. That is kind of you, truly. But you're even half as good as gathering information as you are gathering materials. Then your talent would be wasted here. Please, go with Elita. I shall remain here and await the gift of your good tidings. You can be sure of it. Then let us depart from Mamuk. I know you're travelling quite a distance, but please don't trouble yourselves overmuch for my sake. It would be wonderful if your inquiries bear fruit, but I won't be disappointed if nothing comes of it. I'm happy enough that you're helping me at all. Besides, we're working on nothing but theories, so please come back to Tuliolol if there isn't a Mamuk. Can't point you in the right direction. Don't go digging around Yaktel aimlessly. If something were to happen to either of you, I would be beside myself with guilt, and I would rather not add to the burden I already bear. We are here. I suppose now we split up and speak with whomever we see. You disagree? Ah, yes. Master Shunyu did mention the Mamluja here are wary of outsiders. Then you take the lead, Elita. I shall follow and learn. With any luck, someone here will be able to help us. Both Shunyu and I are fortunate to have one so well-travelled as you for an ally. I doubt we could have come so far on our own. I was taken to understand that Mammoth was a rather isolated settlement, yet an aetherite stands at its entrance. It makes me wonder whether one could be built in my village. Ah, it's a thought best forgotten. I hear the cost to maintain an aetherite is quite exorbitant. Every day I spend in the outside world, I realize more and more how it revolves around money. Is that why we pay aetherite taxes?
Oh, I recognize you. You were with Bakul Jaja, weren't you? What business do you have with one such as me? A crystallized stone, shaped like a teardrop. Can't say I've seen such a thing. If I had, I'm sure I would have remembered it.
With so many changes happening in Mamluk of late, I wonder if merchants will bring us new wares. Jewelry, perhaps. Yes, lustrous jewelry. Do you think I remember every secret rock I lay my eyes on? That's the one thing we don't have any shortage of around here. Maybe if rocks could fill a hungry belly, I'd pay more attention to them. But they can't, so I don't. Now leave me be. You I can. Still come with a head full of rocks. By the looks of it, leave me be. If I knew anything could help you, I'd help myself first.
Can't you see I'm resting? Why are you asking me about crystals? Just take a few steps into the wilderness and you'll practically trip over them. Eh? What do you mean that's not what you're looking for? Why do you think I care? If you don't leave me alone so I can get some shut-eye, I'll show you exactly where you can shove those damn crystals.
I can't say I've ever seen statues quite like these before. I take these designs are meant to evoke a Mammalja's head. Of course, I understand the desire to immortalize one's forebears with stone objects. My people do much the same, yet to build structures of stones in the middle of such lush forests, no matter how many times I see it, always find it peculiar.
Why, isn't this an interesting line of inquiry? Yaktal was once rich with ores of all hues, but I've never heard of one shaped like a teardrop. It would take a skilled artisan to make a shape like that.
Perhaps if some force were applied to the ore at the right moment of crystallization, or perhaps if tears themselves were crystallized. Ah, but those are only idle thoughts. Either way, I've never seen such a thing with my own eyes. So, what have we learned? Not much of use from where I stand. Elita, if you will, I would suggest we approach our questioning from a different angle. If we can say one thing for certain, it's that the stone is rare indeed, so instead of seeking it outright, perhaps we should seek someone who collects such objects. Good, then we've decided. Let's not lose heart yet.
Yaktal rests above the Sextus crater. The sheer size makes one shudder to imagine the meteor that created it. If these stones you seek are indeed the remnants of such a phenomenon, then surely something resembling them must have been found by now.
The one thing we know about the tears is that they're exceedingly rare. A small step, but any forward movement must be taken as a victory. It's a lesson hard learned through my long journey.
A collector of rare stones and plants, you say? I'm sure I've heard of at least one. Ah, yes, I do recall the young Gosseljaw mentioning his grandfather had quite the collection. He used to bring back all sorts of bits and bobs from his cricketers. I admit it's been quite a while since I've spoken to Gosseljaw, so I cannot say whether he's held on to his grandfather's belongings. No other names spring to mind, sorry to say. Perhaps someone else can help you. A gatherer in Mamook. A friend of mine had a particular knack for it. Every time he came back from a scouting mission, he would have some very special in his hands. It was a nice way to earn some extra coin. He's no longer with us, unfortunately, but his grandson works at Golmagic Grove, and I hear he's Death Hand himself. The boy's name was, That story sounded very familiar. I believe this Gosseljaw's grandfather may be the very collector we seek. Or may have been, rather. Still, the obvious course of action is to speak with Gosseljaw and see if he still possesses any of his grandfather's belongings. Let us depart to Golmagic Grove. Apologies, names come and go from this old memory of mine, but I can remember my departed friend like we had just spoken yesterday. We search for one Gosseljaw, who works at Golmagic Grove. It is good we have a name. I do not think the Mamaljaw would appreciate us pestering each and every worker here. Everywhere we are surrounded by trees of an unimaginable height. I feel so small in comparison. The clan of Vera known as the Rava, who dwell within the Golma jungle, would be likely unmoved by such a sight. Instead, their eyes would seek out places where their natural complexion would allow them to blend into the surrounding foliage. By contrast, the Viera of my tribe are more suited to camouflaging themselves among the snow-capped mountaintops. Still, the fauna of this place does have a unique colouring. Perhaps I could disguise myself if I so desired. Would you turn around for a moment, Elita? Yes, come to inquire about Nigel, have you? Why, I am but a humble gold worker. Though Nigel, like jetty bananas as you call them, may have an unusual appearance, but they are actually quite sweet. I have proposed various uses for the glowing peels, such as employing them to cure animal skins, or adding them to medicines. Unfortunately, my ideas are not very popular. What kind of place is this? This is Golmagic Grove, where we cultivate Nigel. As you can see, it's one of the brighter, more open locations in Mamook. The fruit is primarily consumed by our own people, but the leaves, well, outsiders are known to use them as well. I'm afraid I can't say more on the matter, trade secrets and all. Blessed siblings no longer stand in the highest position of power. I know this, and yet the truth has not fully sunk in. But perhaps this forest will succeed in changing after all. Oh, hello. Did you need something from me? You are Gosseljaw, yes? Grandson of the renowned collector, as we've heard? I am, and my grandfather was indeed fond of showing off his collection. But how in the world would you know that?
Well, that explains everything. Still, this is quite an unexpected visit. And we thank you for indulging us. So, did your grandsire's collection contain anything that might resemble the stones we told you about? Yes, your description made me recall one of my favorites, in fact. I'm sad to say I lost it when I was a child, though, but my memory of it is crystal clear. I see. Unfortunately, my memory is not good enough for us to judge whether the two are related. I may know where he found it. As you heard, my grandfather served as a scout when the Mamalja and the Bral were at war. He was known as a swimmer without equal, and used the cenotes to travel every corner of the forest unnoticed. Cenotes? Those are the springs which dot this forest, correct? Are you saying they connect somehow? Yes. A network of tunnels runs under the earth. One can travel the width and breadth of the forest, if you know where to go, that is. I remember my grandfather said he found a crystal on a mission to Ikrax. It was lying there on the cenote floor as if waiting for him. It's likely that he found it in Ikral's Sole, where the waters once ran red as of blood. The Bral would bury their fallen warriors there, and none expected a Skald to be bold enough to trespass. This story has promise. The samples we found before were pulled from deep layers of earth, formed at a time immediately following the meteorite's impact. There is no telling how far down these tunnels reach, but doubtless they pass through the same layers. Naturally, material from these layers would corrode and settle at the bottom of the cenotes. Yes, this has promise indeed. Bosselja, you have given us direction. Thank you truly. No, thank you for allowing me to remember my grandfather so fondly. May you find that which you seek. Let us find our way to Ikrax Sole, Elita. This has been an interesting day, thanks to you. I'll tell my grandfather this story next time I go to pay my respects. Where are we going? Oh, way up to that corner. So this is Ikrax Sole. I find it hard to believe that these waters were once stained red with the blood of war. Luckily, the cenote is now clear, and our vision should be unclouded as we search. Or should I say, your vision. This is difficult to confess. As you know, I was trained among the snowy mountaintops. You can imagine how poorly I might fare in a body of water. Although it shames me to place this burden on your shoulders, I would rather my soul not join those that were set adrift in the cenote. That is, of course, assuming you possess the skill that I lack. Good. Thank you, Elita. I have ever been able to depend on you when I find myself wanting. You shall be the example I strive to emulate in my future travels. I shall stay here and await your safe return. Good luck. Search the cell for anything resembling the tears. I shall stand watch in case anything goes wrong, but considering I cannot swim, I must ask that you practice caution. Found at the bottom of Ixrac Sole, this tear-shaped fragment has a faint blue glow. And I'm almost done with this quest. You made it. You were down there for so long, I began to fear the worst. You must be half fish for how indefatigable your lungs are. So, did you find aught? To the best of my recollection, this looks exactly like the stone Master Shooter had. Its shape that unmistakable blue. We did it, Elita. It appears our intuition was correct after all. This crystal is a remnant of a grievous wound dealt to the earth. 'Twas the case in ancient times, and 'twas the case 50 years ago. We must return to Master Shunya with haste. Let fortune smile upon us at last. I've never seen you two so excited to bring me a delivery. I take it something good is in store. Where did you really find this in Yaktel? But how? You dived into the bottom of a cenote? But the waters are so cold and the caves so labyrinthine. Not to mention a single misplaced stroke would cloud your vision with sediment. Even so, here you are before me, and I'm more grateful for that than anything else. Shunya's apothecary could ask for none more skilled, none more brave than you two. I'll start examining this right away. Soon we'll have our answers. You found the impossible. I can say without a shadow of a doubt that this fragment is made of the very same materials that azure tears I found in my ruined home. Have we proven your theory as to the true nature of those stones? and how your village met its fate. I am now certain that these stones formed much in the same way as obsidian does near volcanoes. When minerals are melted by extreme heat, they cool into glassy lumps. In this case, when the meteor struck, the heat must have not only melted the earth, but sent it flying into the heavens. In the air it cooled into the shape of wilted petals, the shape of tears. But they hold something else as well. The meteorite brought instantaneous destruction to the area of its impact. All the plants, animals and people gone. Their life force scattered into the air. I see. It is ether which sleeps in those stones. When that energy fails to return to the life stream, it crystallizes. Just so. I believe these are more than just mere lumps of glass. The blue light is the shining essence of all that was taken from me. For 50 years I searched, and for 50 years I knew one thing, that answers would never bring them back. And I knew that even if I proved the cause of my tragedy, that revelation would bring no comfort. Even so, the land of Tural wept that day, for all that was lost in an instant. Now I know that I can move beyond my sorrow. I can remember my family as they were. Their smiles, those bright days we shared, our happiness. Thank you, you two. I feel as if a great weight has been lifted from my shoulders. Within nature's grand cycle, the life I lived back then shall remain a shining beacon. I knew you'd not strayed far from your roots. We simply had to help you dig them up again. It may soon be time for to depart on another journey. The first in a long while. Not only to find a new family, per se, but to attune myself to nature's rhythm once again. You have brought me pieces of a much greater whole that I would rejoin. I shall let the wind's breath carry me where it will, and so long as the boundless horizon is before me, I shall walk. A worthy goal. I would like to think that I comported myself well at this apothecary. In so doing, I succeeded in fulfilling both my responsibility to my people and also my obligation to Master Shunyi as a friend. Although you may tire of my praise, I'd like to express my thanks to you both once more. You would have been exceptional help if you did nothing more than gather what I ask, but you went far beyond that. Likewise, I learned more of the Shetona than I could have hoped. Yet my own quest is far from over. I would take this opportunity to go out into Tural and experience all it has to offer, the culture of the Shetona included. So if indeed you plan on leaving the city, I ask that you allow me to join you. Besides, a journey is only as good as your companions, or so they say. Do you have room for another? You wish to accompany us? You'll be more than welcome, certainly. But I'd rather not earn the jealousy of Wukonat and the rest of your illustrious friends. So when our journey begins, feel free to come and go as you please. I know how popular you are, after all. Either way, these decisions are to be made in the future. For now, I don't intend to close up shop. Truly. Regardless of my reasons for starting this apothecary, I've become quite fond of it. To say nothing of my loyal customers, abandoning them without notice would be unseemly. And besides, how long do you believe you can travel with such a light coin purse, Uvio? Sleeping under the stars and foraging for your own food will take you so far. Soon you'll be penniless, and Terrali's less hospitable climes may well take you. I can... You can stay here and earn a bit more coin before our trek. I would be a terrible owner if I let one of my best workers be so reckless. So for a while at least, let's continue on as we have been. There's so much more to be done after all. Shooting is now ready to manage his apothecary with new insights to guide him. He now considers you a genius gatherer. Welcome, Elita. You'll be glad to hear business is brisk, in no small part thanks to your efforts. As for our journey, well, Uvlio is gathering the funds. I offered to cover our travel expenses, but he is loath to be in debt to an elder. It's been 50 years since I left this city, so I've no issue with staying here a little while longer. While Uvlio readies his funds, I shall take my time preparing the shop, and myself for the journey ahead. There are no deliveries to be made today, it seems. Still, the shop must be cleaned and the customers must be tended to. I must admit I cannot count dealing with customers among my skills. I would rather stick to tasks which I can complete with my hands. But Master Shunya was most insistent I get up there and smile, as he put it. He said friendly faces attract new customers. I think it shall be a while yet until I understand the subtleties of running a business in such a large city. And that's the Fisher one, which I shall get around to doing at some point. I just need to check something. Is she still up here? No, she's not out and about, is she in the house? Nope. She just disappeared. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Love you all. Bye.